Welcome back, history buffs, to the year 1973. This is old news. Let's start with Roe v. Wade, a landmark U.S. Supreme Court case decided on January 22nd, 1973, that recognized a woman's constitutional right to choose to have an abortion. The case was brought by Jane Roe, Norma McCorvey, against Henry Wade, the district attorney of Dallas County, challenging Texas laws that criminalized most abortions. The court ruled that the right to privacy, protected by the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, extends to a woman's decision to have an abortion. The decision established a trimester framework. During the first trimester, the decision was left to the woman and her physician. In the second trimester, states could regulate abortions in relation to maternal health, and in the third trimester, states could prohibit abortions to protect fetal viability, except when necessary to preserve the mother's life or health. This ruling invalidated many restrictive abortion laws, leading to significant legal and social changes and more debates. 1973 also marked the signing of the Paris Peace Accords on January 27th, leading to the withdrawal of U.S. troops from Vietnam and the release of American prisoners of war. The war had deeply divided the nation and left a lasting impact on American foreign policy. In the Middle East, the Yom Kippur War, also known as the October War or the Ramadan War, occurred from October 6th to 25, 1973. It was initiated by Egypt and Syria, who launched a surprise attack on Israel during Yom Kippur, the holiest day in Judaism. The conflict was part of the ongoing Arab-Israeli tensions following the Six-Day War in 1967, where Israel had captured the Sinai Peninsula from Egypt and the Golan Heights from Syria. The Arab states' goal was to reclaim these territories and initially achieved significant advances, catching Israeli defenses off guard. However, Israel quickly mobilized and counterattacked, eventually pushing back the invading forces and regaining lost territories. The war had several significant consequences, including a shift in the balance of power in the Middle East, with Egypt and Syria demonstrating that they could challenge Israel militarily. The war also led to the first direct involvement of the United States and the Soviet Union in the conflict, as both superpowers provided military support to their respective allies. One of the most enduring legacies of the war was an oil embargo announced by OPEC on October 17th of 73, intended to exert economic pressure on Israel's allies, including the US, Portugal, the Netherlands, and South Africa, and force them to reconsider their support for Israel. The price of oil quadrupled, leading to a global energy crisis, including fuel shortages, long lines at gas stations, and a global economic downturn. This crisis highlighted the world's dependence on fossil fuels and spurred efforts to develop alternative energy sources. The U.S. experienced an especially significant economic recession characterized by stagflation, a rare combination of high inflation and high unemployment. This prompted a reassessment of economic policy, with policymakers seeking new approaches to address the country's economic challenges. 73 was also a year of environmental awareness, with the United Nations declaration of the First World Environment Day on June 5th. The date was chosen to honor the 1972 UN Conference on the Human Environment held in Stockholm, Sweden. The conference and commemorative annual day highlighted the growing awareness of environmental challenges such as pollution, resource depletion, and biodiversity loss, setting the stage for future policies and initiatives. In sports, the world was captivated by the Battle of the Sexes tennis match between Billie Jean King and Bobby Riggs. King, a trailblazer for women's rights in sports, defeated Riggs in straight sets, proving that women could compete at the highest levels of sports. And Secretariat became the first horse in 25 years to win the Triple Crown, setting records in all three races: the Kentucky Derby, Preakness Stakes, and Belmont Stakes. In film, The Exorcist, based on the novel by William Peter Blatty, terrified audiences and became a cultural phenomenon. Its chilling tale of demonic possession resonated with audiences and solidified its place as one of the greatest horror films of all time. And let's not forget the music of 1973. The chart-topping albums of the year were Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon, and Stevie Wonder's Inner Visions. This has been Old News, a year in review. In the words of Winston Churchill, those that fail to learn from history are doomed to repeat it. Please join us next time as we explore another fascinating year in history.